Well, hi guys, this is scottvee, and this series I'm going to go on a little tour of my Miranda world, which is one of the first worlds I did. It was up and running for about a year and a half, and a couple of players came in. It was always private, so there were always just a few people in here building. And over that period, Minecraft went through about 8 revisions. This started before Minecraft was officially released. So this main start area is some of the oldest Minecraft terrain you'll see, and it kind of has the whole history of Minecraft built in. I'm going to do a quick tour. This was my first little hideaway. I spawned somewhere over there, and fought my way over to here, dug a hole in the ground, because I spawned right near this cool chasm. So I dug a hole in the ground, and I hid. And there were creepers out here and stuff. As far as the whole history of Minecraft, as soon as giant mushrooms were available, of course I came out here and made giant mushrooms and had some fun with it. But the very first thing was my first hole that I ran down, dodging all the creatures, ran down here for cover, and what I'm going to do in this tour, this particular episode, will show a really neat progression of things, which I think you'll get a kick out of. This was my little bed, home away from home, and of course, this gradually builds up to where, I gradually add chests and stuff to do. And here is some of the early progression. It's really interesting. I came down here. At first there was a creeper dancing and, taking a shower in the waterfall over there, and I shot it and built some walls. But I'm not going to go over everything in excruciating detail. What I want to do is do a quick run through and show a little bit about just how much a world can progress over a long span of time. Okay, I'm not going to be able to defend myself with a piece of dirt. Eventually, I pretty well came in here and secured this area with torches, made my way through all the water. Did some other exploring along the way, of course. I just find this was such a neat area. But eventually, you gradually secure an area, light it up, and drive the monsters away. Eventually, after a couple of weeks, I ended up with a little home on the other end of the chasm, and I would spend some time running back and forth and gathering stuff. So here's my home around the other end of the chasm. And after being down there for a while, exploring the world, I dig my way up to the surface. And once again, we have another small stronghold. And I would have to come out here and defend this area, gradually build a gigantic road network. But what I'm going to show you now is interesting, because after playing for maybe 4 months, 6 months, we eventually decided to do I decided to do my first large build. And I came this way because this area is reasonably safe, because I have Buddy, my little iron golem here, is on patrol. He's on duty. He likes to come out here and smash skeletons and zombies and keeps this area reasonably clear. Now my first big build for fun was a pyramid. And I didn't want to just do a boring pyramid, so I did a cross-shaped pyramid. I'll be headed over there now. And if that chunk would kindly load, I could show it to you. Load, you chunk! Go, go, go! Alright. So, here is the pyramid. Let me run up to the top here. It's a little world inside there, and oh look, zombies and things. So this was my first kind of big fun build. It's a cross-shaped pyramid. I believe it was, I set aside a spot that was about 45 by 45 blocks to build this in. And built it out of dirt, added some windows. We'll go inside in a minute. Thought, of course, need a shining golden ceiling. because the original pyramids were originally coated in white limestone and possibly had some gold ornamentation at the top. So this was my fun build. And it's just a pretty common pattern, just laboriously trace it around, build it out, build it out. And this was also comically a really good indication of the difference between surface area, which is covering a flat, I flattened the land, built this all on top. So although this is like, I don't know, 1,500 blocks, it's just the surface area. Where things got interesting is I, of course, decorated the inside, so it was a fun home away from home. My little workstation. I have these pillars going up top, and since I built it with dirt, I made kind of an oasis in here, and added some trees, added a central little temple portal type area. Well, that's the temple. The portal to hell is over here, to the nether regions, which is fun. But anyway, as I said, this is a surface area project of just laying down the blocks that define the outline of the object. Where things got really funny was when I decided that there really ought to be a mirror reflection of this down below. And unfortunately, that means digging out a volume. And holy cow, digging out a volume is way more work than just outlining something. This volume here was easily, I don't know, 12 or 15,000 blocks. Plus dressing all the layers so that they proceed from sand to sandstone to stone as you go down. And of course, while I was building this nice symmetrical area, this area unfortunately was riddled with caves. So there's a lot of these cave openings. And here is my innermost inverted pyramid, which is over my floating temple platform down here. And I have to be careful because there are active caves and monsters come out sometimes. So this was my first really big build, which I still think is just a very, very nice, clean, interesting design. You know, they kind of just come together in an optimal fashion if you just kind of go with the flow. Now underneath here I have my golden marker, and comically, if I was going to dig mines, we could pass through all of these silly caves, pass over more caves and chasms. So the build down here was mostly excavation and partly reconstructing on top of chasms. And then for some silly reason I decided that the mines down here should actually be a bunch of inverted pyramids. So each little mine section is an inverted pyramid going all the way down to the bedrock layer. And it's just pyramids inside pyramids, around pyramids, wrapped in pyramids. And it was just a fun kind of ongoing project. But it's really a fun example of how you start off Minecraft just diving in a hole, trying to survive. And after a while, you know, once you get the resources and you feel safe doing so, you can venture out in the world and start sculpting it to whatever suits your fancy. And I definitely have to say this was a really enjoyable build with a lot of very neat symmetry. These tile patterns here, it's actually interesting because this is so old that, that the stone brick was relatively new at the time. I'm going to go up into this inverted pyramid region here, do a quick run. Now, at some point, that it was going around that there were going to be brewing stands and you could brew potions. And my original plan was that I would have potion brewing stands right here on each of these 4 platforms. And I would stand here and brew the potions in this nice, pretty panorama. But there's just, almost every time I come down here, creepers will come out of here. And I mean, there's a chasm underneath and caves. And so it turned out to be a little more of a Wild West than I wanted. So I never really completed my plan. And now, of course, a year and a half later in version 1.4.6, I now have to worry that pigmen and monsters are going to come through this portal from the other side. So it's interesting how things evolve. But here is the patterns that I decided to go with tile patterns. And I've always enjoyed tile patterns since the very first time I saw Moorish tile art, in Spain on stamps when I was a kid. And it certainly is fun. Did have a lot of good times in this area. And here is the central inverted pyramid, which hangs down over the main pyramid-shaped gap, with a strangely non-pyramid stalactite pattern. And it's just amazing. I always enjoy the symmetry that you can get when you just start playing with a couple of different materials. But anyway, this is all part of my giant pyramid construction, which just shows the overall progression of Minecraft from being a little nobody in a hole to having the resources to come out here and build these gigantic monuments. So I hope you enjoyed that little tour. Now I'm going to run off, show you a couple more things. How could I forget this? Here's another interesting example, and I have to stop saying I know that. As things progress, it was around version 1.2 or 1.3 that they added the alternate versions of sandstone. So again, even though this area was originally generated about 1.5 years ago, every time something new is added to the game, we come out here and try to implement it and dress it up a little bit. So here's your smooth sandstone, here's the chiseled sandstone, also known as the creeper face sandstone. Now, one of the other players, Iceman, over here, decided that nothing goes with a pyramid quite like a sphinx. So we had some good times there. And one of the other players, Fauché, built a copy of his real house up here on a platform where no monsters could get at him. But here is our little sphinx. We never did settle on the face, but now we could do a much better face, but we never really got into that, so we just put some smiley candles. This was funny because we could go in here as a challenge, knock out the torches, and just try to sit in here for a whole night with monsters spawning around. So we've had some good skeleton battles in there. The problem being, of course, as soon as the creepers spawn in there, they will totally take out, the sides of it, and it was just too much to repair all the time. This Sphinx, I believe, that Iceman did this to scale, to the best of his ability. It's a surprisingly long and narrow monument. And then, of course, some of the largest builds you'll do in Minecraft are actually your infrastructure. Your rail systems and road systems really end up taking enormous effort sometimes, but they're just underappreciated. I'm pretty sure on this world I must have laid down, I don't know, tens of thousands of blocks of road and endless rail. But there is my step pyramid. And I'm going to head off to another spot of this world and show you some of our other strange landmarks. Oh look, here's Iron Golem beating the crap out of the locals. Now that's funny. Oh man, there's even an enderman in there. You just go away, will ya? Thank you. Ooh, he kicked the enderman's butt. I've never seen that before. I didn't know they could do that. Dude, you're my buddy. That was cool. And I think they fight... I do think they fight creepers now. The first few months that there were these iron golems, they would ignore creepers. Let me see if they now fight the creepers. It's something I heard. Fight the creeper. Come on, fight the creeper. Oh, you dork. Okay, fine. I will fight the creeper. If you're gonna... What the heck? Oh, take him out. Dude, thank you. Okay, iron golems do not fight creepers. I guess they have a pact or something. Oh well, that was super fun watching him take out an enderman. What a rare encounter. Okay, I'm gonna run down to my little lair, sleep off the night, and then head over to my next part of the tour.